Kyla Jacobsen is with me today. We're at Trout Park, and we're here for a couple of reasons. The City of Elgin just reached an agreement with the state nature preserves that we're going to dedicate this piece of property to them, and the city will maintain a contract to help provide maintenance, but this will offer the ultimate in protection for the state of Illinois to a piece of public property. This is special for us because it had to reach a special designation because we used it for fishing. And a lot of people fish down here. You could take a look at the cars in the parking lot today at noon. And these people are out walking and fishing and enjoying Trout Park Nature Center and as a natural area along a bike path and as a fishing area for the city. It's probably been a little bit underused this year because of the construction on I-90, but next year we'll be back in full swing. And this park is absolutely beautiful for people that love to take a walk, spend a little time out with their kids and fish a little bit, take a walk up the bike path, but it also serves a purpose. The stormwater that flows down through Trout Park and actually created the fen in Trout Park comes from a recharge area that goes out from this site for miles. The recharge area brings fresh water into the fen, cool water of a certain chemical nature that allows the plants that are unique to this area to grow there. That's why this area is so unique. It includes 3 of the biggest natural fen areas in the state of Illinois. One is at Trout Park. This site is one along the Fox River, and the other is the Fox River Country Day School property on the north side of the toll road. The vision here will be someday to combine all of these into a state nature preserve and provide really a regional park. I think that the community can enjoy. Kyla's here with me today because we want to talk about water. And part of the issues facing the city of Elgin right now is the taste and the odor in the Fox River that has contributed to problems with our drinking water supply. And maybe we'll get a look at the river. You can see the algae that's out here. The green river that we're looking at is not necessarily what we see at this time of the year. So it's kind of a unique occurrence, and it creates treatment problems for Kyla at the water plant because we use the Fox River as our primary source of water. Kyla, tell us what the problems are, what we've done to move forward to try to resolve these problems, and what we can do as a community.
Well, Elgin has primarily used the Fox River as 100% of our water source for decades. And we pride ourselves in having an adequate supply of good water. And we are subject, because it's a free-flowing stream, we're subject to influences from stormwater or any type of runoff. This time of year, when there's stormwater runoff, we get increased phosphorus flowing into the river, and phosphorus is an excellent nutrient source for algae. Under the right conditions, which cannot be predicted, adequate sunlight, warm temperatures, a good nutrient source, we have an algae bloom, and the algae bloom creates this taste and odor compound. It's historically something we've dealt with. I've been with the water department for 30 years, and I've dealt with it almost annually. I've studied the byproducts of the algae for 30 years. I've actually even written papers on this particular odorant. It's 2-methyl isoborneol. You can search it. I can spell it for you if you'd like. There are no health effects from it. It can be objectionable because of the musty, moldy, mildewy, camphor. Everybody has a different descriptor. Only about 25% of the population actually is sensitive to it, so there's a lot of people who can't taste it or smell it. It's actually detectable to people at 5 parts per trillion. That's like 5 drops of ink in the entire Gulf of Mexico. And if it's detectable at 5, and we're seeing levels around 70 in our finished water. So huge amounts of this byproduct. It's not the algae. There's no algae in the water. We treat the water. There's no algae. It's a byproduct of the algae's natural biosynthesis is this particular compound. What have we done? We've added additional carbon. Powdered activated carbon is considered one of the best available technologies for removal of these odorants. We're adding tons of carbon. We've actually blended it out. We're blending in 50% well water. We've maximized the amount of wells that we can actually add to the river water and still be able to provide an adequate supply. Because it's so powerful this year, we're having trouble getting it to move through the system. The water at the treatment plant for the last week has been getting better and better and better every day. I have a glass sitting down here that's City of Elgin drinking water. I got it out of the tap before I came over here. I've been drinking it. I've been drinking a lot more in the last few days because it is getting better. There are other technologies that we could look at down the road, but it's a problem that only happens for a couple weeks every couple of years. So we want to be good stewards of the resources that we have. Hopefully the rain we got last night is going to help move this algae downstream. I've been praying for rain for 6 weeks. We're only on day 22. I know a lot of people think that it's been going on for months, but it's day 22 of our Taste and Odor event. And I'd like to think that we're getting to the end of it. As I said, at the treatment plant, it's a lot better. But one of the things that we have really worked with, not Elgin, but Elgin has participated in some studies to help minimize the runoff and minimize the available nutrients getting into the stream. You talked about stormwater coming from far areas running through the fen and coming through Trout Park. People need to understand we want to manage the stormwater where it falls. So if water falls on your property, we want it to soak in there. We don't want it to run in a concrete channel or down a curb, down into the streams and rivers, because that creates problems. So by managing the stormwater where it falls, it helps minimize the effects down the road or down the stream, as it were. So.
And I think that, as a lifelong Elgin resident, I think we can go back, and this is not something that just got invented in the last 3 or 4 years. This problem's been around. We didn't use the river for drinking water until about 1980, so we were drinking well water. But I remember as a young fellow, we walked by Kimball Street Dam, and you could smell the river. And it really was the water being churned up, and it was the same compounds being released into the atmosphere. And people that lived here a long time, we call it the river smell.
Yeah.
And it's just the odor coming off from the algae that was there. And it's a seasonal thing, but it does not mean that it's going to happen every June. It could happen depending on the conditions in August, so there's no way to really say, well, we turn the chemical up the 1st of June to make sure we don't have a problem. That's not something that can be done, and it's not really. Kyla and I both in water treatment. It's not the best way to treat water. You treat it based on what the raw water looks like. So we're going to be looking at some of the options. I want to explore that. I've talked to the city manager and I talked to Kyla. We want to look at some of the options that are available out there. We'll be presenting them to the community so that you can understand what can be done to do this and the costs that go with it. Kyla and I have talked in the past. You can do just about anything you want with water. You can make it as clean as you want. There's a cost that goes with it, whether it's expanded capital costs or operating costs, but it depends on what we want to do. And I think the community has a right to weigh in. There's nothing more sensitive to people than the taste of their water and what happens with their drinking water. So we take it very seriously. Kyla's taken it very seriously. The city has not ignored the problem. We've been working on the problem, and we're going to resolve it.